134, Jeff Gibbons, 18-7-2, sophomore from Ames, Iowa. Jim Frick, 13-7-2, senior from Columbia, New Jersey for Lehigh.
The middle. Move to the middle. Let him in.
First time this year that Frick's been down to 134 that I can recall. A lot of fans were wondering, would he get down to 34?
Stay in the center.
And he made it for this meet. I guess with Navy coming up in Syracuse, get down to his fight weight. Here we have a situation where you have younger siblings wrestling whose their respective brothers were national champs. Gibbons' brother won the national championship. Now the coach, Frick's brother, won the national championships for Lehigh maybe a decade ago, 9 years ago, something like that. How time flies.
Break. Loosen up, guys.
And later on, we have, next bout, we have Carr, who's one of 5 brothers.
Of course, Mike Frick, when he wrestled Larry, he was kind of all over the weight classes.
Well, he's the only guy I knew that in 2 seasons, I think, beat 5 national champions by in a tournament or in some manner or fashion, wrestling 34, 42, and 50.
Talking about Mike Frick, wrestled for Lehigh University many years ago.
In the middle. Stop.
And as Larry mentioned, the older brother of Jim Frick.
Of course, Jim Gibbons won his title knocking off Lehigh's Darrell Burley. That's when the stand-up I was trying to see if I could get you to remember that name.
The answer to that question is Darrell Burley.
That's right. Darrell's now at law school as Frick is in on Gibbons' leg. No takedown yet, no control. Now Frick tries to roll through and come around, but still no control.
Frick is doing everything but the kitchen sink to try to effect the takedown, but he doesn't have it, and they're going to go off before Frick can do anything at all.
Nice move on Gibbons' part.
Gibbons had that right arm hooked around, and Frick could not get it released, which is what he needed for the 2 points.
I gotta say, Coach Gibbons is the youngest looking coach to show up at Lehigh this year. Graduated from Iowa State, class of '81. Out of school 5 years, but I'll tell you, he looks about 21.
Warning, red.
Warning against Iowa State, but immediately he reacts by ducking under. It's a little more difficult to be the coach and see your brother out there. And of course, Thad Turner went through that several years when his son wrestled 177 and 90 for Lehigh.
Stalemate. Let's go. Get up.
36 seconds to go. We've got no score.
Warning. You got to be active.
Jeff Gibbons for Iowa State. Jim Frick for Lehigh. Good battle. Half a minute to go.
Going up a cradle combination right off the feet. Goes underneath. Picks up the takedown.
Stay on.
20 seconds left.
Let that leg out.
Jim Gibbons is literally all over the mat. He just goes from one corner of the bench practically over to the scorer's table and continues to return back. He does not anchor himself on the bench.
Well, Ed Bonick is protecting the edge of the mat. And I don't think too many people want to go by there.
Period ends. We'll take a look at that takedown, Larry. The only points thus far.
Frick goes up, but immediately Gibbons overhooks and figures, hey, maybe I can get a combination cradle off this situation. And picks up that far ankle and drives forward. Frick, realizing he's heading towards his back, lets go. And almost gets a 2-2, but works his way back to his stomach.
Okay, get on.
Second period, 26-second advantage right now for Jeff Gibbons, and he leads 2-0. The Cyclones have won the first 2. They lead 7-0 over Lehigh. 10-1 the record for the Cyclones this season. Lehigh 4-7. Frick trying to put the clamps on, but once again, Gibbons is very quick. Not only prevents the near fall, Larry, but gets out without a takedown.
Yeah, Frick has come twice now. He's been close to even.
There you see Coach Gibbons with his back to you. He just travels from one end of that mat about 15 or 20 feet all the way over to the middle of the scorer's table. He's often closer to the Lehigh bench than he is to the Iowa State bench by the time he ends up. That turn of the Lehigh coach you can see down on one knee right in the back of your picture there. He is off the mat.
Stay on. Break.
1:17 to go.
Let's go, guys. Stay on that mat.
Jeff Gibbons, who's mentioned his brother's head coach, and of course his brother Joe was a great wrestler, also national champion, but not related to my dear golfing partner, Jack Gibbons. Lucky for them. 1:06 left. Second period.
Okay.
Escape 3-0. Here's an interesting situation, Shell, with my perception. That escape came with less than a minute to go, but they only show Frick with 58 seconds riding time. Again, he's in on the leg. Over the 2-minute period, they had to have at least 1:02 time advantage if the takedown came or the escape came with less than a minute to go. Frick in again, but I think Gibbons goes over the top, and we may get that same stalemate situation that we had before. To break out. If you're going to do it, you got to do it somewhere in that roll. Otherwise, you end up just in the same position you were when you started. And if you can't break out during the roll, which Frick could not do, nothing comes of it. 9 seconds to go.
Frick hampered again by that shoulder problem.
We want to remind our viewers in the local public television area of Channel 39, we have 3 major television events coming up on the schedule. Saturday night, February 14. Next Saturday night, Lehigh Lafayette basketball live here on Channel 39. Then 2 major wrestling events, the EIWA Championship Finals on March 18th. I'm sorry, March 8th. And then the following week, the high school championships here on Channel 39, the PIAA on March 15th. All that on public television in the Lehigh Valley, WLVT TV. Second period ends, and it's still a 3-0 lead for Jeff Gibbons of Iowa State. Riding time not a factor. Gibbons will have an opportunity to even up the disparity, what there is of it, only 32 seconds for Frick at the moment, as we come to the final 2 minutes. And it will take a dramatic maneuver here by Jim Frick to get Lehigh on the board.
Time advantage about even at this point with 1:37 left.
Center.
Gibbons maintains his control over Lehigh's Jim Frick.
In the Matttown tournament, Jim Frick wrestled Joe Geezy at this weight. Jim was up to 142. Geezy won a major decision 15-7. That's the only matchups that we've had between Lehigh and Iowa State prior to this match. .15 to go, 3-0 lead in a match that has been just about completely controlled by Jeff Gibbons. Early on, Jim Frick came close to a takedown, but could not cash it in, and has not put any points on the board yet with under a minute to go.
Gibbons maintaining his control. Will probably end up with a minute time advantage also. But these Iowa State wrestlers are very tight, intense grapplers. They get a good hold around you, and they're going to not hang on. They'll just keep you moving, keep you off balance. He's just riding Lehigh's Frick, keeping him in bounds. Tight waist, control of the hands, the wrists. Gibbons definitely has time advantage. Big brother's watching him. He knows it.
Center.
And you see, with 16 seconds left.
Let's go. It still hurt? You want time? Yes? Yeah. Clock.
Frick's going to ask for time because that shoulder again is bothering him. He's suffered several seasons in and out of wrestling because of that shoulder injury, and bothered him at the Army meet. It's bothered him tonight.
Frick actually has won 2 in a row. He defeated Mike French in the Army meet 23-9, and then won by a technical fall over Matt Caro of Maryland the last time out. He's had a lot of decisions. No, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong wrestler. I was looking at Peter Yazzo.
Yes.
John Short. He defeated John Short in the Army meet and also defeated Keith Benenzi of Maryland.
Control with Gibbons. He now has a 3-0 lead plus time. Final score will be 4-0.
And with the score, 4-0, the victory for Gibbons. 3 more team points on the score. It is now Iowa State 10, Lehigh University nothing, with more wrestling coming up in just